Sega. Dudes.
Dudes. Welcome back, dudes and dudettes. That's a little bit harder to say. Holy cow. So yeah, what have you been up to? Beat
Resident
Octopath,
Evil.
and you beat Resident Evil.
Yeah, Octopath was fun. Resident Evil was good. I mean, it's they have like I have it on over here. They have challenges in it and stuff that you can go back and play again. But I mean, if you've already experienced the game the first time, what's the sense of going back and playing it again? That's the way I
What
feel.
did you play as, the guy or the girl?
You play as both.
Well, I saw something that you're supposed to play through it with the girl first, and then you go back and play through it again with the guy.
No, you can't do that. It's both.
So you switch back and forth for different story
You switch
elements.
back and forth for different stories. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I guess that's something. Yeah. I know I played some games. I don't think I did anything.
You didn't even beat 33 yet,
Expedition
did you?
33. Oh no. But it was actually kind of funny. I was talking to a guy at work about it, and then another guy comes over and joins in, and so we were talking about it for a bit. But I asked him, I was like, no spoilers, but
How far are you from beating it?
yeah, I was like, how long? Like I got to the monolith, but how much time did it take you after that? And he's like, oh, it's hard to tell. And he's like, and he said, like, and he's like, okay, I think at the monolith he was about halfway done. But both the guys said that there's like after the monolith, you can go straight to the final boss, or basically straight to the final boss, or you can go to a bunch of side quests and do stuff. So
What do you
depending,
want to do?
I don't know. How's it going, Drake? Hope you're having a good Thursday. I woke up and thought it was Friday today.
Yeah.
And then when I realized it was Thursday, I was bummed out. It's like, oh, one more day of work after today. But I want to do both. I want to finish it so I can get on to play other games, but I want to keep going because I am enjoying it. So I might do some of the side quests and then finish it off. Like I said on Tuesday, like I need to play again for another 5 hours on Saturday or something, and then I should be getting close to being done.
Stream it for 5 hours.
That's how I streamed it on Saturday for 5 hours. It was raining, and I just started playing and kept going, and Prin was sleeping, and nothing was going on, and
Stream for 5 hours. Wow, that's pretty crazy.
yeah, but I did beat. I already said I beat Darksiders Genesis towards the end of February. Then Saturday, I beat Vulcan Venture, or it's Gradius 2 on the Konami collection.
What's Vulcan Venture?
Gradius 2.
Oh,
Gradius 2
Gradius.
or whatever.
Gradius.
It was a fun shooter.
You beat it?
I beat it. Oh, I use save points. There's no way I'm gonna go through and like beat a shooter and the first go around. There's some little orbs that, I mean, you could tell that this was an arcade game because there was these little things that would come up, and if you shoot them, they'd explode. If you didn't shoot them and they're on screen long enough, they'd explode. But so they shoot a bullet out, and say every 15 degrees, a bullet would come out. But another one would basically be a torpedo, and it would just follow you around the screen. And most of the time I couldn't avoid it. And I was like, okay, I want to see what the ship is like when I get it powered up. So I'd get a power up and I'd save it, and then I'd play some more and get another power up and save it, and then get another power up and save it. And then one of those would come along and destroy it, and I'd try for like 20 minutes just to not get hit by that thing when it explodes. And I was just like, or run into something else or something, all the different things that can kill you in a shooter, and I couldn't do it. And I was just like, all right, I'm just going to go through and play through the game. And it wasn't really that long either. There wasn't that many
Really?
levels. But I had picked it up and started playing it, I don't know, I think sometime last year. So, yeah, Vulcan Venture 2. Or no, Vulcan Venture. It was Gradius 2. Just like, what is it, Nemesis on the Game Boy is actually Gradius.
I think it is Gradius.
I need to go turn on the fan. It's getting warm in here.
It is. Well, you had it 80 today. Now it's
It
like
was 82
37.
today, and it's supposed to be 80 tomorrow, and the day after that. And
That just sounds wonderful.
yep. Well, see, that's why we don't have to really worry about snow. Because snow doesn't stand a chance.
Well, Wednesday's going to be rain. Thursday's going to be rain. Saturday rain. All of next week. This week, Friday's 42. Saturday's 44. Sunday's 60. Monday's 60. Tuesday 60. Saturday's cloudy. Cloudy in the upper 40s. South winds.
Well, you can tell we're old because we're sitting here talking about the weather. Slight chance of rain for the next week.
Really?
Yep. Nemesis, Salamander.
Oh, Salamander, Life Force. Yeah, I hear that all the time. I played Salamander, Life Force. Yeah, I played it. Okay. Yeah, I hear that mostly all the time. So
mostly all the time.
Well,
mostly all the time, but occasionally none of the time. So
when that Scanline things was on,
huh?
They used to talk about it all the time when that Scanline channel was around.
Talk about what?
Life Force and all the other ones.
Oh, when you were doing the shooter club?
Yep, back in the olden days.
Yep. I need to see if I can get a link for that, and I could add that to where we're streaming to, I think.
You could pull all the videos down. I mean, why not?
We covered Salamander. Cool. Some good games. But I think it's time to get to the meat and potato portion of the stream.
Yes, here we go.
So if no one is familiar with, or if you're unfamiliar with John Hancock, big set collector. I think he said he's in his video that we're about to watch. He had 36 full set collections, and he's donating some of it. I forget. I think he's selling the other part, but part of it is going overseas, and part of it's going to the Midwest.
Wait, overseas?
Yes.
Well, why overseas?
Because that's who they could find. He and the group that he had created could find to take it.
What systems are going overseas?
You should have watched the video. I sent it to you.
I didn't have time today.
You failed. You watch it at 2 speed. We're gonna watch it at 1.5 speed to get things through a little bit quicker.
Yes, let's do this.
He's donating it to you. No, but like he says, this is. Oh, you can't see it because of where we're positioned, but we'll move that for a second. My plan D. So it's not his first idea that he wanted to go with, but it's what he ended up with. And yeah, we'll start watching it and talk. Drake, let me know how the audio levels are for the YouTube video, please. Don't we all wish he was donating it to me?
Not really.
Whoever me might be. I'd take the Sega Master System collection. I think that would be the only thing I'd want, and I think it's
Turbo.
just a US set.
But, oh, you were talking about Turbo before, right?
Sure.
So I finally bent. I finally, bent the stick, gave in, and I bought the analog.
Got the analog duo coming.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we'll see how much you play it.
I don't know. We'll see, but we'll see. Yeah, let's go to him first. Let's see what he says.
Yep. All right.
Total John Hancock here, finally with an update on my collection. And this has been years in the making, and there's lots of reasons why I've waited until now to talk about it. Part of it is to have definitive answers and where this collection is going. And this is a plan D. This has had lots of ups and downs along the journey, and I'm just here to talk about it and just talk about what's up with the collection, where's it going. And I know there's a lot of people that have had questions about this, and just thought I'd give an update. And happy to do this video and want to express to you kind of what's going on. Anyways, I've been collecting for 30 years. I've enjoyed collecting video games over the time. I started this long ago. It's hard to say exactly when I started. I want to say probably my senior year in high school. I was collecting more games than I could play, but really started it probably as a freshman in college. And so that mid 90s is probably the starting point of this collection.
So mid 90s to now, what's that, 30 years? So he's been collecting the stuff for 30 years, and I'm not sure where he is, and I don't think he's in his garage. So it has, he's got his garage full and maybe another room or two.
Yeah, but come on. I mean, think about it. If we went back 30 years ago when we started collecting, as I started collecting in 99, I mean, stuff like you had people that had NES games that were holding up coffee tables.
Yeah.
And you could find this stuff on, like, people were giving away like NES games for free.
Yeah.
Everything. Now it's like oh my god, I have Jaws, I have gold, it's worth $1 million, and I'm not, what people watching this video that are going to watch that are watching this video or going to watch this video, you have to keep in mind that collecting back then and collecting now is 1,000 times different. It was easier to collect then than it is now.
I do not think that's true. I think it's easier to collect now. 30 years ago, the internet was not a big thing. 30 years ago, you had to go out and hunt. There weren't conventions. Yeah, you could find them at the game stores and different places. I do not think it was easier. It was cheaper. But
Yeah, it
wasn't
was definitely
easier.
cheaper. It was like 1,000,000 times cheaper, and it was fun. It was fun. It was a lot of fun. Hey, I don't know
It's
what
still fun. It can still be fun. It's just depending on how you're collecting it. But the point in stopping and saying 30 years is this isn't something that he's been collecting just for a few days, and that's just when he started collecting, not when he started buying games. And so he'd been buying games probably since the mid 80s.
Probably.
Yeah, and you couldn't find some games at the store. So
I was getting more. I'm more into this. Like, yeah, let's see, because I really like him.
He seems like a good guy. I met him at
he is
at Southeast Game Exchange.
And I collected, amassed quite a bit early on. Purchased, by the way, 99% of this collection myself. I've been doing this well before YouTube, and really have enjoyed collecting a multitude of different things along the way. This has been a long time coming, and in 2020, I formed a group of people to help me organize to try to get this collection in the public. And along the way, I've also had parts of my collection on public display at the.
So that thing is what I think is interesting, is he didn't try to go alone or go it alone and do it all on his own. He got a group of people, and I'm guessing some friends and some associates to help him, try and make decisions on how to move things forward, because it is quite a sizable thing.
It's
definitely
huge.
cheaper, but I'm not sure about easier though. Yeah. How's it going, LP?
It's definitely huge. It's definitely huge.
But he was working on trying to get things together for a museum, get it out on display. But I think it's kind of interesting that he just didn't go it alone. He got a group together, because I guess that also helped to make sure that he did not make any rash and sudden decisions.
See, I always, so here's, whenever I see this guy, and I love listening to him, he is extremely passionate about video games. I think he's great. I don't give a crap about what people say, where he got donations or whatever it is. Now he's selling it all off like it's his or whatever. I'm sorry, unless you have a contract when you hand something over to someone, hey,
we can yeah, we can get to that later because we
but
don't
here's
know.
the thing, his, and I feel this about you, and I feel this about MW. So so envision this way. So I'm in the ocean right now and I'm just sitting there and I'm floating. Your collection to me is like a gigantic wave coming over my head and I don't know how to handle it. That is the same way I feel with Welsh, because it's like a gigantic wave coming over my head. Like you two are like, and this brings up a good point, especially with him, because it's like I was at a place over the weekend and Milo near me, and I was looking at toys. And I said to myself, wow, Oz would love this talking Alf and this Alf figure and this Alf hat and this Alf this. And I was like, I took pictures of it and I sent them to you, which I should have. But I said, let me start collecting toys. I really hope you're having a blast changing over all the windows. It just,
Try something different.
I, I would love, I would love to ask him, how did you handle that that immenseness of the collection? That's my kid freaking out in the background. But I mean, how did you handle that immenseness of the collection? Like how do you handle that?
What do you mean by handle it?
So to me, I only collect shmups and RPGs. If I collect toys, I feel like I'm just stretching myself thin with everything else. And other games, I feel like I'm even stretching myself out even more. And I only collect for certain systems. So I'm very select about what I collect. You collect a broad spectrum of stuff.
But
So, and
it's selective.
yeah, but it's you just massive. Like,
Look, just think about it like this. I don't collect PlayStation. That saves me so much time, space, money.
I listen. I have 98% of what I want for PS1. PS2 I still have to work on here and there. PS3 I'm done with. But jeez, it sometimes, like, I don't know if anyone, like, if you're watching this or you're gonna watch this, like, do you ever feel like it just becomes too overwhelming after a while and you have to take like a step back and say, okay, like, what am I collecting? So yeah, maybe you are right, Lego, with it. It's a little bit easier, but it's just,
Thing is, you do the way you do anything else. You either handle it or you don't. And I think I've somewhat got it handled, but I've got to start getting rid of some of it.
I give you a lot of credit, and especially with John Hancock as well, because it it's a lot of games, it's a lot of stuff, and it's a
It is.
lot.
And I watched a different podcast, and he said, he's been going through and just taking pictures of stuff because there's no app that is complete enough to catalog everything that he has and all the variants and that kind of stuff. Which, I mean, that's why I did. That's why I created the spreadsheet. Like, I don't have pictures of stuff, but it's my spreadsheet has what I want. It has the name of the game. If I've got the case, if I've got the manual, if it's just the cart, I've got space for notes, and then I can type in whatever games I want, or I can go and get a list online of games that were released for, like, I got a list of the games that were released for the Sega Master System, the SG-1000, and I took those lists and edited them and then pasted them into my um, spreadsheet.
I think what I collect in Switch, you collect in like whatever other.
And in the other podcast, he actually mentioned RF Generation. He's like, but it doesn't have pictures. And so he's taking pictures of stuff and putting it in there. And I could take pictures and then put it in my spreadsheet, but then it would make my spreadsheet really long. I wanted a place to have, like, quick, easy. I can just scroll up, down, whichever way I want to go, and go through my list quickly.
I have a bag of duplicates, like a solid bag of
Oh,
duplicates.
I've got a box of them.
I don't even know where I got 3 um food food kung fu games sealed for the Atari Lynx, but I have three things of kung fu. Listen, if you I mean for PlayStation and Nintendo. Dude, I think 365 Sega Genesis games, which I think I beat you on that.
Yeah,
Which is crazy
because
because
I never collected heavily for the Genesis. I picked up games I wanted,
upset I there was
and
a
I've gotten
point
rid of stuff for the Genesis that I didn't want, like almost all the sports games.
I see I don't have a lot of the sport. I do have some sports games, but man, did I burn 2 years, that's all I collected for was Genesis. And he was the John, and I solely bring that up. I bring that up because I remember distinctively sitting and saying to myself in 2001, what do I want to collect for? And I remember watching one of John Hancock's videos, and oh, how funny, Drake. And
You
it
found
was
LP.
John Hancock that got me into recollecting Genesis again, and it was his hidden gem videos of Genesis, and I knew nothing about Alicia Dragoon until I saw that video, and I immediately said we're we're burning, cash for these games. I mean, I don't care. Then that's when I discovered Renovation. That's when I went after Renovation and Wolf Team, and I had a good amount of them, like Gaiaris, and I had all the shmups for Genesis, but I didn't know about Mazen Soccer until I saw John Hancock. I really, I can personally thank him for reintroducing me into Genesis again.
Cool.
But we could watch his video. I happen to have
We're
his.
2 minutes into 18.
Port
Oh
Rush
wow!
Gaming
All right, let's
Expo,
go. I gotta
my
shut up.
Nintendo collection, my Sega Genesis collection, various things from 1994, a Pac-Man collection, mostly Nintendo N64 Genesis, among other things, and really appreciated having my stuff. But even just having part of my collection at a one-time event was super challenging. And along that journey, I realized that there's really no way that even with the group of people that I had to pursue my own building or have it like that. I didn't want to have essentially a museum in my house as it was not enough space. There was lots of challenges early on that the group and I decided that really we wanted to pursue, maybe teaming up with a business or organization to house this crazy collection and try to pursue that as best as possible. I would say in 2022.
So I think he brings up a point. Like setting up a museum is not cheap, and I know he got criticized for saying that he wanted to make a museum, and I imagine that's a lot of the same people that are now going after him because now it's not all going to be in a museum and not all of it's going to be easily accessible, which they'll get to later. He'll get to later. But just taking a complete set and a complete in-box set of Sega Genesis to a convention, that's over 800 games. That
I know.
takes up some space, and he's got that plus however many, what is it, 35 other systems, plus all the stuff that he has that he just so that he can play it and isn't collecting it, modern and stuff. That's a lot of stuff, and that's not easy to move it around.
Those games can get heavy.
If you put it in a big enough box, yeah, I mean the weight adds up.
I mean,
Some of
if
those
you guys,
big old manuals.
I mean, like if you look behind me, everything's starting to get cleaned out now. So, I mean, that alone with all of that that's there and everything that was it's a heavy box. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah.
See, I can imagine moving that stuff around.
It is. I had all my Mark III and SG-1000 stuff in a box when we moved in 2020, and that thing was heavy. and it wasn't anything that I would have let anyone else move. If we had paid people to come and move us, like the game collection would not have been moved by them. I would have moved it myself. And I may have let the Print and the Munchkin help with some stuff, but most of it would have been 100% me, because if something happens to it, then it's all on me.
I pretty much started collaborating with Next Level Pinball Museum, and fantastic, amazing arcade place in the Portland area. And it was great to collaborate with them. And we tentatively had a long-term plan about, they were very interested at the time of potentially housing my entire game collection. So the long-term plan was to have my entire collection on display there forever. And that was a tentative plan. There were some internal changes going on, but we met several times. It was over a period of a year. And that I was really ecstatic about the possibility of my collection finally having a location, finally having a place after so many years of wanting something. It was making progress, and from my perspective and the organ and my group's perspective, it was moving forward. Unfortunately, it just didn't happen. It was a business decision on their end. Nothing against Next Level Pinball Museum, amazing place. I did a video covering their awesome arcade setup, and it just didn't happen. Personally, this was a very tough year for me. My wife was going through cancer as on top of this, so it was like I was devastated to not have that work out. I was really going through some tough things with my wife, who's cancer free, by the way. And thank you for the thoughts and prayers on that. And so I really had to do some soul searching and figure out what's plan B, because.
So see, and I guess technically his plan A was, him opening up a museum. So he's got 36 complete sets, and he's going to go through and name some of them as he says where they're going. But yeah, like Drake said, it's big. 36 complete sets. And he's got a ton of different consoles and the different variations of consoles. When I started collecting for the Master System, several of his videos are what I watched to learn more about the Sega Master System, find out, okay, the different variations that the console was released in, the boxes that they were released in, and the different, like there was the Blue Label games, and some of them, I think most, if not all, the Blue Label games had a big font on them, big bold font on them, and there were some Red Label games that have the big font as well. But like that's how I learned about them and how I went hunting for them and stuff. He has some really good videos. He really cares about
some solid videos. He definitely has. I mean, so you use the Master System. I was Genesis. He wasn't for Turbo, to help me with Turbo. Turbo I knew already, but it was more Guru Game Boy that pushed me with Turbo. But I mean, he's got his videos are great. I think what we should do is look at it upsets me him getting rid of all of this, because I do follow his channel a lot, and I think we've spoken before about people that are collectors that just think, hey, listen, I have a large set of video games and I'm gonna, show off this or whatever it is. I don't find them knowledgeable at all. I can watch a Mr. Beep video and basically, look like, oh wow, you walked into GameStop and you got these Saturn games. That's great. You're not telling me about this. You're showing off. This man has never really and I've watched multitude of his videos in the past several years, over the span of 6-7 years, and I never have felt like he was showing off. I felt like he was guiding people in the systems.
Well, it's tough, when you've been collecting for a while, the pickup videos get old. They get boring, and it just seems like, well, look at what I was able to find. And half of them, I stopped believing that they actually just walked into a store and found those. But yeah, LP says, never watched them. I just know of him because he has appeared in some Metal Jesus Rock videos. See, I stopped watching Metal Jesus Rock some time ago, but I still watch John Hancock, some of John Riggs.
John Riggs is funny.
Actually, that's all that I watch from that crew.
I like when John Riggs went to Brazil and he walked into the store and he's like, "Oh, all these Brazilian games! Wow, all these Brazilian Master Sister games that you never see." He was like so excited. It made
Yep.
me laugh. I found
Oh.
that funny actually.
I would be super excited.
I think your beard would fall off, or it would do like one of those one of those Looney Tune things where boop,
You go, bloop.
yeah, it shoots off.
You look like a giant mustache.
As plan A, I'm going to be honest with the group and everything. That was the plan,
Plan
and
A.
a lot of eggs were in that basket, and we had to kind of do some searching for a plan B. So
and that's a thing. He was working on that for a year, over a year space of time. Plan A. We're in 2026, and this is only Plan D. So he spent some time and effort trying. Probably a lot of frustration, and like I didn't think it'd be that difficult to get the stuff into a place, but he wanted to make sure that it was displayed, and we can get into that in a little bit.
there was a lot of changes, and so moving forward, we started working next with Corvallis Museum, and they were great and gracious and really kind of talking about kind of what they could help with. Look at a potential place in Oregon area where a museum or even a school or university could house this collection. And I was at this time really realizing that the magnitude of this collection, it's big, it's a lot of stuff. And displaying it a little at a time was a compromise that I'd be willing to take, but it just really didn't go anywhere. The discussions were awesome. They're amazing and gracious. It just couldn't come up with something that would work. And again, we were searching for a location. So that was more time and more heartbreak on my end. At this time, we had the closure of the Paul Allen's Living Computer Museum, and it really started making me think like, gosh, I think that the collection that I have amassed over 30 years, is it best for a museum? Is it best for something else? I had questions, and so did the group about what is the best place. There was other established museums at the time that had a multitude of what I had to offer, and I had some other places reach out along the way. Just a heads up, there was a museum that didn't have a building that wanted to purchase some of my game collection, but they couldn't guarantee anything into the actual museum, so that was kind of tough. Decided not to move forward with that. I had another place that was kind of in its infancy that is a potential, but that's put on hold definitely, and so wish that group well. So there were some other places that I reached out to. It didn't go anywhere. So Plan C was a Seattle.
So yeah, on to the next plan. And it actually sounds like there were maybe sub plans during this whole time that we reached out to this one and didn't work, and this one and this one and this one. These places weren't able to do it, and I think people forget that it's not easy to dump as much stuff. I mean, so he's got 36 console collections, complete sets. Say there's 100, 150 games in each one of those. What is that? 36 and 18 and 46, 54, 5,400-ish games. And most of them have more than 150 games in their library. So, maybe close to 10,000 games, if not over. Because I have no idea how big the ColecoVision library is and some of those other things. It belongs in a museum. So do you, Dr. Jones.
Is he is he selling any of this, or
I'm going to use the WAFO. You have to wait and find out, or watch and find out. All right,
let's go.
We'll get to that. So we've gotten through Plan A and Plan B, and again, there were sub plans within all of that. Yeah, some of the older systems don't have a ton of games, but some of them do. Because the Master System US collection only has 114 games, but Super Nintendo has more than that. Genesis has more than that. Like, it just has 800. Yeah, I can get behind that one. I've got one complete set, and it was one of those things that happened somewhat by chance, as I was just buying stuff here and there and picking up lots.
I can't. I would never go for a complete set of anything.
I was 2 games away, and that's the only reason I did it, because I was able to trade to get the most expensive game out of the way, and there's like, okay, well, now I've just got to get Joe Montana football. I picked up a loose copy.
I do series. I don't do. I don't do complete sets.
That's a set though. It's a set. You're doing a series, which is a set.
So
Instead
then
of
I
doing a
have.
series of from a console, the series of the console, you're doing a series of a developer. It's the same thing.
Really?
Yeah,
I mean, if you say so.
you're going for a complete set from that developer. Yeah, yeah.
It it's more like the genre of the game, the name of the game.
But don't you? What is it? Whatchamadoodle works.
Huh?
The the RPG maker people. I forget. Wonderworks. Wunderbar.
Oh, no, you're talking about NIS America?
No, but let's go with that one. You're complete. You go for their games. That is a set.
I guess. I don't know. I have a complete set
Nothing
of.
games
I
on
mean, I have
Sony.
every. I I don't call them sets. I call them releases. That's the terminology I like to.
Wow. If I had any hair on my head, I would split it because that's what you're doing.
Well, no, I say release. I say releases because I think it's so. I have every United States released um Zelda game licensed by Nintendo. Don't anyone bring up about the
3DO.
the 3DO because 3DO is not canon. All the
No,
Zelda
it's canon.
games canon except released. I have all the Castlevanias, including the limited runs that came out. I have a complete US release of all of those. I mean, trial I mean, all the Tales series. I have
Yeah.
all of those.
So let's see. LP says so many nothing games on so many consoles. Why would I want those in my collection? Just because I want a complete set. Yep. And then Drake says he would like to have a Link set. And yes, he
Drink.
means a complete system set. But I don't see that being all that different from buying every game that a developer makes or every game in a series. Because that is a set. It's just not a console set.
I
It's
think they
a
I
set.
really think they call it releases because when I went to the convention, I've heard it
Yeah, not
was
3DO.
releases. I heard like I have the full US release. Full set the full US release of a set of games. Yeah, well, I mean like a set, but it's a US release set.
That's what I'm
Like
saying. It's most that might seem crazy to some people that you buy a game just because it belongs in this series or that series or it's because it's made by NIH America or
NIS.
NIS.
There's a lot of other crazy stuff too I've seen with people. Not
Yeah,
him, but
there's different ways. It's just I think they're both the LP.
yeah,
He means a console set, which I totally get. I agree. It's kind of crazy. Um, and
there's
I
just
think
a
for me, it's like again, I was so close to completing the Master System US set, and some people wouldn't even say I have a complete Master System US set because I do not have Sonic the Hedgehog with a UPC sticker. I do not have um, Golden Axe Warrior with the UPC sticker. But I'm not worried about having a little sticker on it to prove that it is a game that was released in the United States.
bro. Honestly, I've gotten into it with people where they're just like, um, oh, you don't like Castlevania. Oh, you don't have like you don't have this. I'm like, why do I want the McFarlane toys from Symphony of the Night? I have them, but just saying like, why is that needed? In it's not video game anything. Just
But it
whatever it is.
is. It is based off the video game characters.
Right, but it's not.
It's not an actual video game.
Listen, I'm so neurotic with Castlevania. I own the Symphony of the Night Tiger handheld. So you go look that up. I just,
I'm not
I
worried
just,
about it.
I mean, I just. But
But
let's
like
get let's.
Drake says,
We're,
a set is just a grouping of games.
yeah, I mean that's it.
That's
So
it.
we're
And there's
burning.
71 links games. So if I were to go to complete set, there would be so many asterisks around the word complete.
You're right. Listen, you collect whatever way you want to collect. I was like, listen, there was a
What he
time
just
when
said.
I was doing insane rare games and buying like stupid like he'll tell you like ridiculously rare games and stuff, and I wanted to have like, oh, and everything. I have them, but I mean, it got to the point where I just didn't care, and I said to myself, what do I like to play the most? And I love RPGs, I love shmups, and I love the horror genre like Resident Evil, and I absolutely love Fatal Frame. I think Fatal Frame is a great game for PlayStation 2. Would I like to have all of them as a grouping? Yes, 1, 2, and 3 I would love, and Fatal Frame F that came out. Um, I for me that would be excellent. To complete. Now I do own all the Resident Evil games in the sense of PlayStation 4 or whatever it is. But there's shovelware everywhere you go. You need to sit down and think like what do I want to collect and how I want to collect it and how am I going to pace myself in collecting. You can't like buy yourself out of things. Like, do I want Kuno for PlayStation 2? Yeah. Do I feel like paying 1100? No. Do I want Ruler Rose? Yes. Do I think the game is completely dumb? Yes. But it's the horror genre that I like the most. So I would have, Haunting Ground, Ruler Rose, and Kuno. But it's to each their own on how you collect, what you want to collect. Limit yourself to one genre that you like first, and then basically just collect that one genre, and that's it. My friend loves Pokemon. My friend has all the Pokemon games boxed. I told him he's sitting on $1 million fortune. I've seen them because he sent me photos of everything. They're all
They're
of them.
expensive, but they're not that expensive.
Well, no, I mean, I was using hypothetically speaking, but I mean, it's probably like over at the 100. It's probably close to about 40, 45, 50. He has the GameCube box, the red box with everything. Like, he was neurotic collecting, and he loved Pokemon. He loves Pokemon. Like,
That's
I've never.
fine. Like you said, collect what you want, how you want. I, I think it's a good philosophy, but the how you want is excluding if you're going into debt. Do not go into debt, in my opinion, for
And
any
don't take
game for any reason.
Yeah, and don't take out a second mortgage on your house either, just to go ahead and
Yeah.
get a game.
Pop
So yeah,
Culture Museum, and that was a recommendation from the Corvallis Museum. So purpose was more importantly than what. I wanted this collection to be utilized. It's always been the focus and intent of my collection to be somewhere to be utilized with a purpose. And as time went on, I had to really consider what is the best place and how can this collection be utilized. And it's going to be a compromise. As time went on, it was aware, and the group was aware that it was going to be a compromise, whatever we decided. So the plan, so going back to Seattle Pop Culture Museum, we briefly met, and it was the magnitude of my collection. I think that it wasn't going to work out. They were gracious.
See, really quick, just the magnitude of the collection. Okay, the collection was too big; they couldn't handle it.
To talk to me and give me time, and I want to thank them for that time, especially the Corvallis Museum as well for recommending them. What I liked about the Seattle Pop Culture Museum is they had an online aspect with their museum pieces, and I really liked that aspect of it. I think that was fantastic. Along the way, about the start in 2023, I started talking more and more with Embracer Games Archive. And initially, they reached out to me, and I was kind of hesitant. They were interested initially on just some Sega stuff, mostly my Sega Genesis collection. At the time, I didn't want to consider even thinking about splitting this game collection up. And Embracer Games Archive, they're well established. They have a 100-year plan for archiving physical games. There's a team of them. There's technicians to repair things, and with the long-term goal of having an online game database. And they collect everything, 80,000 video games from around the world. It's a mega collection. And it's important to note, the more and more I thought about what they were doing, as talking to them and really seeing their mission statement, the more I thought that my game collection might be best suited, at least part of it, to go there. So I'm happy to announce that about, I'd say 60% of the game collection is going to Embracer Games Archive. And this was a tough decision. This is something my organizational group voted on. This is something that pretty much I, by myself, did not determine. This was a long thought out process, talking to many individuals in the gaming industry, giving their opinions, as well as several people who gave me their thoughts about it. And the thing that made me determine it is purpose. And this would be an archive with the intent. The long-term goal is Embracer Games Archive is going to have that online game database to help other collectors show, hey, this is what this physical game looks like. And that can be viewed by everybody. And there's very few people doing that, an online video game database with pictures. And so with the extent of what Embracer Games Archive is doing, it was a tough decision. And so you're probably wondering, what specifically is going to Embracer Games Archive?
Okay, so the games are going to Embrace, or a good chunk of the collection is going to the Embracer Group Gaming Archive. So
Where is that?
Sweden, I believe, is where it's at.
Yeah, but is he selling it?
I don't know if he said selling it or donating it or what. They said it's going to.
To afford all of that, you would have your own little national debt.
Well, one of the issues people have is they don't like Embracer Group, and I forget all the reasoning. But they also don't like that it's going to basically be stuck in a warehouse with the it'll eventually be taken out, and there'll be a visual and maybe a virtual database where you'll be able to go and say, here's the box, here's the cart, here's the manual, and hopefully they'll go in and they'll scan everything in high quality, and you'll have every page of a manual scanned in so you can go through and flip it. Like I know Sega Retro has that already for a lot of the Master System and Mark III and SG-1000 stuff. But I don't know about everything else, and it's not all, it's just Sega Retro stuff. So, but he was talking to them since 2023, he said, so we'll say around 3 years that's been in the works. That's a chunk of time, but he's about to list off the name of the systems. I'm going to try to count them as we go.
The plan is for the following to go there, and these are my complete collection. So the primarily focus of my collection is I'm a complete set collector. So I consider the complete sets as something that I feel would utilize to help others. This is exactly what came out for a particular console. So I'm going to focus on those as well as some other things. My NES collection, N64, Genesis, Atari 2600, PlayStation 1, which isn't complete, but I have several items in that collection, ColecoVision, Intellivision, N-Gage, Neo Geo Pocket Color, Atari Jaguar CD, 3DO, Sega Pico, Sega Laser Active, Odyssey 1 and 2, Mattel Hyperscan, R-Zone, Astrocade, Channel F, CDI, Video Information System, and Tandy Color Computer, Atari 8-Bit, Aquarius Computer, Pongs, Odyssey 1 and 2, N-Gage. So anyways, that's just an example of the things that are going to be joining the archive. I'm ecstatic about that and happy to see about 60% of the collection go there. You're probably wondering, what about the other 40%? What are the other?
So 24, 25 systems. I guess they're all completed except for the PlayStation 1, but
that's a lot of games.
Big chunk. Yeah.
How the hell is he getting it to them? Are they coming with the jumbo
I don't know.
jet?
And hopefully he's going to be doing some, like I posted in there, it was like, I hope you like, I forget exactly what I said, but basically hopefully you catalog and show like how this is going to be done. Cause I think it's going to be pretty interesting on getting it over there and stuff. I don't know if he's selling that part, but he may be. And the thing is, like, he spent 5+ years, 6 years trying to figure out how to get it into a museum, and it just wasn't working. And he and the group that he got together to help try to find a way of getting it into a museum just wasn't possible. Like if you've been to the National Video Game Museum in Frisco, Texas, that whole entire museum would not be big enough for his entire collection. And that was like if they had just I do not think it would be big enough. They would have to buy the rooms next door or something. that's a huge collection. I think that's part of the problem. Like if I wanted to get my Master System collection or the Mark III or the SG-1000, just one of those, I think it'd be a little bit easier because it's a smaller group.
So
I could get all of it in a a refrigerator sized box and still have. I could probably get two of those 3 systems in a refrigerator box.
alone, he has a complete Nintendo set.
Yeah,
Now, knowing him, they're all boxed with manuals. Alone, family fun stadium events.
he's not worried about the price.
Just,
Price doesn't even get brought up in this, I don't think.
but stadium events, Little Samson and Cheetah Men 2, he's looking at over $55,000 for 3 video games.
And actually, I don't think it's that. In one of the other podcasts I watched, he said he's an 8 out of 10 condition collector. So they're not pristine.
But completing boxes, stadium events is like $40,000.
But I don't know if he has stadium events. That wasn't a retail release, so he may not be worried about including that.
But borderline hoarding collecting, yeah, you probably have.
He may not. He may, but I don't know. I think he's going to have a much more curated collection going forward because there's some stuff he's keeping.
Yeah, I agree, Russ. That 1,000%. 1,000%. 1,000%.
He's got to be getting money for this. No one would just give it away. Well, this next part.
Let's go.
Honestly, I'm fine if he gets paid for it. He trying to do his own museum, didn't pan out. There was a bunch of stuff he wanted to do and probably ran into some brick walls he didn't realize were there.
There's sets going. Embracer Games Archive was missing a majority of North American games, and that's why they were interested in acquiring those collections. Just a heads up, the main contributor's been involved from the beginning, as well as another additional main contributor has been informed about Embracer Games. Now, this is new news. The following: 40% of my collection is going to be donated, and that's right, donated to Guys, Games, and Beer. And so
should we rewind that?
Collection is going to be donated, and that's right, about Embracer Games. Now, this is new news. The following: 40% of my collection is going to be donated, donated, and that's right.
If I could
donated
throw a
to Guys,
shoe
Games,
at you
and Beer.
from here to where you are, I would.
So, dude, I love doing that with stuff. It's just, for me, it's hilarious. So, 40% of the collection getting donated. Just poof.
What is Guys, Games, Beer?
It's something in the Midwest that does some curation and stuff. Yeah, the Embracer Games, I think, because it's going to be overseas and it's not going to be available to the public like he was wanting, but it will be once it gets scanned in and everything else. But I think he said it's a 100-year plan. Yeah, and the other 40% is going to this group.
And so Guys, Games, and Beer is an organization in the Midwest, and they help out with several other gaming conventions, and they take some crazy setups and allow people to play them. They're amazing. They're connected to Midwest Gaming Classic primarily. That's where I met them years ago. And I reached out to them because I wanted purpose for this game collection. And I had a bunch of other stuff that I felt could be utilized elsewhere and played, utilized, appreciated. And so it's a straight up donation, and it's a straight donation to them. And Guys, Games, and Beer is accepted. And what's going to them is the following: the Super Nintendo set, Wii U, Virtual Boy, Dreamcast, Lynx, Atari XEGS, all my Atari ST stuff, Neo Geo MVS stuff, Ouya, Atari 7800, all my Commodore stuff, VIC-20, C64, Amiga, my CD-TV, my Amiga CD32, my Master System, my Game Gear loose set, my Vectrex collection, as well as TI-99 4A, my Nuon set, and Gamecom. Also forgot to mention TurboGrafx 16, my TurboGrafx collection, including CD games. That's a lot. And there's some other.
Yeah, I didn't count all those, but
What the hell's
even
Nuon?
even the Nuon. That was the what was it, a DVD player? Was it DVD or VHS? But you could also play. There's several video games that were released for it. DVD. The new one is not well emulated. There's probably not a ton of people working on it. And the new one was a DVD. There was some VHS stuff, but so I mean, it's definitely possible that he's getting part ownership or something. Or an idea I had earlier today when I was watching some of the videos and stuff. If he's selling the 60% to the Embracer Group, donates the other 40% and uses that donation as a write-off for the money he gets paid for from the Embracer Group. But yeah, Embracer Group has done some stuff.
What? I don't know what they did.
We'll get into that some other time.
Oh, okay. All I know is it was THQ Nordic. When I looked them up and stuff, I was like, oh yeah, I know that brand. You dissolved that, and that was Darksiders.
Yep. Well, hey, they're still supposed to be working on Darksiders 4, so let's go.
Yeah, okay.
Other stuff as well, some ins and outs. But I'm ecstatic that it's going to Guys, Games, and Beer, as they can utilize this collection instead of sitting in a garage. They can bring various aspects of it to a game setup. That's a lot. That's many complete sets, many hard to find games that can be utilized, played, appreciated. And I'm really ecstatic that it's going to Guys, Games, and Beer. And so the main contributors have been informed. And if there's anybody that has an issue or question with this announcement, below is going to be my email. Anyways, if you contributed, I want to hear back from you for sure. Definitely. But that's pretty much just to be open and transparent about what's going on with my collection. The deal has officially been kind of tentatively finalized, and I'm happy to announce that. And you're probably wondering, what are you going to do now? I would like to continue to do.
Okay, so he says, so I know you brought up earlier about, I think, people donating and stuff. So it's people that have contributed stuff to this. And, let's get us a little bit bigger. All right. So what did you say? Did you say earlier about the stuff that people had donated and whatnot? Do you recall? You're muted.
No, I don't even remember what I ate for lunch.
Well, I think it was something akin to what I think it's.
Oh,
there
yeah.
was no kind of a contract, or I mean, even a verbal agreement. But he said he's reached out to people that have contributed. If anyone has a question and they've contributed, they can email him. But
Correct. Yes, and this was back 2 years ago, I think, or 3 years ago. I remember that very vividly in the videos per se of people going off.
yeah, but the thing is, it depends all about how it was given or donated. Particularly if it was donated, if you donate something to somebody to some place, as soon as you hand it over, it's theirs and they can do what they want with it.
Okay, so we'll use me as an example. I'll throw myself as an example with this. My friend my friend Gabe went, and I traded him systems, like Super Nintendo and all these other things, right? And he gave me his video game collection, all his video games that he had. He said, I'm gonna donate my Game Boy games and my Game Boy games and Game Gear, and what else was it? And Nintendo to you, Joe, just to add to your collection. So I had a lot, and I have most of it. And I said, you know what? I'm going to get rid of the game. There's not a lot he had with Game Boy. I kept all the religious games he had. I got rid of some of the Game Boy game, maybe 2 or 3 Game Gear, and I got rid of most, most of the NES. Him and I spoke about that, and I said, I got rid of, a lot of it because I'm moving. He said, I told him I got rid of a lot of stuff or whatever it is, and he really didn't even care. He's like, okay, well, he was like, I gave it to you. Whatever you're going to do with it, you're going to do with it.
Yep. And so that's why I say the thing is, yes, you donate something to somebody for a specific purpose, but plans change. He couldn't make it happen. He couldn't get it all into a museum. Like I said a little while ago, if you have a huge collection, it is much harder for some place to absorb that. And he wanted stuff that was going to be out on display. He could have given it to museums and they not have it out on display. It's like, well, we said weren't guaranteed to be able to get it out on display, so we don't. But it sounds like if you donated stuff, you could reach out to him like, hey, I donated or gave or gifted or whatever, thinking that this was going to a museum, and it's not. So is there a way that I can pay for shipping to get it back, or whatever? I mean, he could have given it to anybody, LP. I wouldn't mind, having the Blue Label, a complete Blue Label collection for the Master System.
What's Blue Label?
That's a little subset. There are, I forget, 6 or 7 games that were released with the Blue Label instead of the red and black. It's blue and white, I believe.
Are they super rare?
They're rare-ish. He'll just make nothing but Atari and Evercase. Do you mean Evercade content from now on? Well, he's keeping some of his stuff. I imagine he's going to have some of his childhood stuff still, and he's going to keep systems. Actually, let's just let him finish up in his own words. There's only a couple minutes.
YouTube, I'd like to keep only a small percentage of just stuff that I would like to move forward with the YouTube channel, which is probably going to change a little bit, but still be able to capture footage for retro gaming consoles, still cover homebrew and aftermarket stuff. That's going to be my intent, and really happy about that. And so just keeping a lot of my like analog stuff where I can capture footage, some Atari stuff, as well as some original hardware just to test original cartridges, to hopefully still continue to review homebrew and aftermarket games, as I love focusing on that. Not keeping much, less than 1%. Less than 1% is something, and I'm ecstatic to have this collection finally have a determination on where it's going. I'm ecstatic. This is not going to be this is a plan D. This is not going to be what everybody wanted, but it doesn't come down to what everybody wants. People don't understand the hardships and challenges that I have pursued over the many, many years. Yes, I wanted to have this game collection in the public, and I feel like this is a compromise. Some of it is going to be in the public in parts, as well as the other part's going to be an archive for collectors. And I think this is a compromise that I have accepted. I feel that and the group working with me has agreed that this is the best compromise, and I'm happy with my outcome. Anyways, for people that have supported me along the journey, thank you so much. It's meant the world to me, and we continue to do YouTube. And I just want to say I haven't talked about it in a long time, and this is why. And it's just been a multiple year process of determining what is the best place for this collection, and to finally have a determination, to finally have a destination, a place. It is so relieving. There has been a lot of stress, and there has been a lot of, I don't know, I would say more relief than anything. While I enjoy collecting, at some point, having a final outcome for where it is great. Especially with going through all the health stuff with my wife. If something was to happen to her, I don't want to have to think about where this stuff is eventually going. And I'm really ecstatic at this final outcome place. Anyways, thank you so much for the ongoing support. And it means the world to me, and I want to appreciate everybody along the journey. And thank you for the ongoing support. You folks are wonderful and beautiful. Let's keep it positive. Anyways, I want to thank everybody for tuning into this update, and happy to finally announce it. This is the Immortal John.
So
he looks tired.
He does, and he had a bunch of personal stuff going on, and with his wife having cancer, and I couldn't imagine. Oh, it kind of turns the tables. If something happened to Prin, and there was a chance that she was, going to pass shortly, of trying to figure out what to do with all the stuff he's got. Because at that point he's like, well, I don't care. I've got so much else on my mind. I can't even think about this other stuff. But I think, yeah, Fat Russ called it. He'll make some Atari and Evercade stuff, but he's gonna have the stuff still around so he can make content. He's gonna keep flash carts and probably have some modded consoles loaded up with games. And yeah, as fun as it might be to have something like that, unless you had a warehouse or a big shed or a pole barn.
Where does he keep all this
enclosed,
stuff?
I was gonna say it's in his garage. Like that right there is somewhere in his house. But like I said, Fat Russ called the Atari.
His bedroom, his bed is made out of Sega Genesis games.
I imagine if you stacked them up, maybe all vertically, you could have them that high. It might be enough support. Just
He
don't.
sits on a throne of Atari games when he goes to the bathroom because Atari belongs in the toilet.
Like LP says, immense respect for him, family over games at the end of the day. And like, I can understand people not being happy that it's not all going to a museum. Only 40% of it is. But at the end of the day, if they donated it, I think they could possibly, hey, is there a way I can get this back? I'll send you the $20 or whatever, ship it to me with insurance, and I'll get it back. But like the people who did nothing, contributed nothing, you don't have a say in what happens with something that's in somebody else's, that somebody else owns. I think is once it's in his possession, it's his. But once
I think they have a problem. I think they have a problem with him making money off of their money.
But why? He spent 30 years doing this. I have no problem with someone doing something for 30 years and then cashing out somewhat at the end. He's not going to get back what he put into it, monetarily wise. I bet you he spent a lot more time, effort getting this stuff together than he will get out of it.
But Fat Russ, how much stuff do you have? Kind of curious.
Everything he has to help your family if you needed to. But does that really matter how much? If you had to sell everything to help your family out, it's just stuff. It can be bought again. Your family cannot.
No, I agree. I completely agree.
Because if your collection is only 5 games or however many I just grabbed, like, okay, this is my entire collection. I've got to sell it to help pay for a medical bill, or when my wife's car breaks down again, and spent $4,000 to fix stuff on it. But does it matter if it's this much that I have to sell, or if it's 10 times this or 20 times that? No. The thing is I really think you need to be willing to let any of it go. It's just stuff. It's not. Its importance ranks very lowly, or very low on the scale of things that are important.
I know.
30 years. Thing is, I would wager Sane and I have been gaming / collecting, for over 30 years.
Right.
Even when you're not, like before I was, excuse me, before I was collecting, I was still buying games, and I didn't sell. I didn't sell or trade in my games, and so when I got heavily into collecting, or more into collecting / gaming, I I had a sizable chunk already. It's okay that you haven't gaming or collecting for 30 years. It's okay to be young. You got to be young.
That's just
old, like us old farts.
That's just nuts.
Which part?
All of it.
What, that he finally found a home for it?
I mean,
Or
like, I know he was looking for that for a very long time.
yeah, it's not like he just, and again, people can be upset and irritated if they want to. It's year. That's why I say he's not going to get the monetary gain back that he put it into it if he calculated time and effort across those 30 years. But I'm sure he's made some great memories during that time that's worth more than any of those games. Because I would say, as much fun as it's been, collecting all of this stuff, the best part has been finding people and chatting with people that have a similar passion for gaming and collecting, and for Masters of the Universe, for Lego, for Sonic and Robotnik, and people. To me, it's a reassurance that there's good people out there, and we might not all agree exactly on what's going on and what to do, but we can still sit down and have fun and talk about things that we enjoy.
I am just like going through it now. I find it crazy.
That's all you say. It's so crazy. That's all I can say is it's crazy.
It's nuts. I mean, like, you get rid of everything and so on. I mean, it's just games. It is what it is. Even the retro stuff. If you buy a Mister and you could get rid of your entire collection with everything and just play it on the Mister and be happy with the Mister.
You could be, but it's not the same. I was talking with my brother. He's like, "Oh, I miss playing Shining Force." I think he said, Bomberman and some of these other games. And I was like, "Well, there's all these other ways of playing it." And he's like, "It's not the same. It does not feel the same."
What, he has a Mister?
No, or does he? I don't know. But he has an emulation machine, and he can play it on his computer. Really quick, LP. I have gotten pictures with John Riggs, but we have never both been dressed as Dr. Eggman. It was one of the other of us was.
Why John Riggs dressed up as Eggman?
Yep.
Oh,
And then there was a DS game I think I had on my wish list for a while, but I guess I took it off. Can't remember what it was. The thing is, yeah, Mister isn't the same, but it can be pretty close. Nothing is going to be the same as the original console, original cart or disc, original controllers. Because even I'd say the analog systems, they're not the same. They're not 100%. They might be 99.9%, but it's not the same. There'll
yeah,
be
but what
games that are
what?
often different.
Okay, but let's say what happens if you have the system and an EverDrive card?
That's fine. Because if you want to have the feel of, you can put the flash cart in a case. If you want to have the joy of going to the case, pulling out the cart, putting in the console, you can do that. But it's not going to have 100% the same feel either, because you're not going to see the name on the spine. You're not going to, when you open up the case, you're not going to see the manual. You're not going to be able to thumb through it, or pull the cartridge out, look at the label, which is generally the same thing as the front cover, but whatever. So it's still not the same. But if all you want to do is play the game on original hardware, that's the best option in my opinion.
I mean, I guess.
Because all the console does is read the ROM or the programming on the chip that gets dumped for the ROM. So it's hard not to say that it's not the same when it's just reading the information from a chip. The game will play the same on the console, whether it's a flash cart or original. But we like to have the originals. Some of us do, some of us don't.
What is this?
He thinks it was
Yeah,
an
I don't
important game. I can't remember. It might have some mini games or something.
I don't even
Mister
have retro
is
games down there.
second best.
I don't even have retro games down there.
You're getting it all boxed up.
Yeah, I got to move all of it.
Yeah,
And then I have to
I'm
move Genesis stuff and everything else. The closing date is April 15th.
tax day. Nice.
April 15th. What's PAX Day?
Tax.
Oh, I thought you said PAX. It was like PAX East? Wait, what? Tax Day, yeah. I did my
I need to
taxes.
do those.
I did my taxes already. No, I get it. I completely get it. I mean, I understand, where he's coming from. I understand that. I mean, listen, I had I had that. You and I went through this conversation. I had Dinosaur Peak for Nintendo. I got rid of it, but I got rid of it for two games I really wanted, which was Hyper Duel and Drake's game. Drake loves this game, Steam Hearts. It's one of his favorite games, and I just I didn't really care. And I lost a good friend. I lost a good store acquaintance because of it. And frankly, I don't care. He got
The thing is, if you really don't care, it's like, why do you even have the game in your collection if you're not worried
he
about
got so
playing it? Steam
yeah,
Heart.
Drake, Steam Hearts. Steam Hearts, Drake. Come on. So whatever. It was for those. I mean, for Lego. For Lego and Drake.
That's good.
I went and I had it was Dinosaur Peak for NES, and I've wanted it for a long time. I just looked at it now on eBay to see how much it was, and I traded it for two shmups to complete my shmup set. Jeez, and I did set. Damn it! Look at what you made me do, and. Jeez, my shmup set for Saturn because I am utterly obsessed with Sega Saturn, and I mean, yes, I had that. Um, and I got rid of it, whatever it was. We're moving into a new house. I spoke to my wife and everything, and I was like, maybe I should get rid of Little Samson. And I was like, maybe get rid of Little Samson, see how much, whatever the stores and blah 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 and stuff would do. And I kind of understand where he's coming from in the sense that, hey, listen, you would give up your games for family and everything else. I mean, I've even contemplated, Earthbound Big Box and all the other bigger ticket items like X3, X2, Pocky Rocky, and stuff. Just crap goes south with a job or whatever it is like this and or whatever. Um, just dumping them and you just there's some games you have like I have an attachment to. No, we're keeping on the subject of what he was saying. Getting rid of most of all of this. I don't really think he has a large attachment to it, and I think him putting it in a museum was kind of like, hey, I could look at it, I could this, I could always whatever.
I think it's others could look at it. Others can see it, not just what he could do.
Right. I personally would keep my full. I'm going to do it again, but whatever. My full US release set of oh my god. See, here we go again. I have so much crap I can't even think of their name.
That's all right. Think about it for a second. LP says it. Told us I'll never pay above $100 for a game, no matter how much I want it. See, that's the same philosophy I use, except for I'm cheaper. I put it at $60, and that's for retro games and stuff. Like if a new game comes out, collector's edition, I really want it, I'd pay more if it has statues and that kind of stuff. But I'd also probably just try to wait until it's cheaper. But the thing is, like if you wait, you can find most of the games for a really good price.
My U.S. release a working design.
That was the one I was trying to come up with earlier. Working designs.
Working designs. I would never.
You collect the set of
I have a
working
full.
designs.
I have the full US. I got Exile and Exile 2. I was very happy with that. I got a good deal on
And see,
Exile and
that means
Exile 2.
nothing to me.
What, Exile and Exile 2?
Yeah.
They're good games. Do you
Okay.
know the craziest thing about it is I think it's Exile or Exile 2 has clay animation on the door with the guy with the sword. And I believe the story is that the same people that did the animation for Tool, the band Tool,
Yeah.
they did the same animation that they did for Tool Schism were the same people that did the clay animation type of thing for Exile. I believe it's Exile 2 on their cover from what I found out. It's a really dope cover. I mean, it's cool. Yeah, but my listen, growing up an only child, all I had was JRPGs and RPGs, and to escape, my insane mother, I just
Dang it hopped.
the video with the meat that Drake that is extremely descriptive. PS3 isn't retro at all. PS3
No,
is
it's
PS3 is
modern.
cheap to collect for.
7th gen is going to be cheap to collect for. I don't think it's going to see a spike
Well,
in general. Yes, there will be some games that were printed towards the end of the life cycle or whatever that didn't have large print numbers, but for the most part, most of those games have large print numbers. So there should not be a big spike for most of those.
I just like Lego. I have
Lego my
walls.
ego.
I have walls here of just obscene. Like I have there used to be stands over here. Oz knows, and like just my Neo Geo AES. I have like I think about 15 AES games, Neo Geo games complete in box and stuff. I went with that Neo Geo. I have a full set of US released. No, sorry, full set of Japanese released Neo Geo CD games, like the full stack of the CDs and stuff like that. I stepped in like I would love that's one thing that's really cool about like collecting, and I'd love to have John Hancock go through stories. Like I like to have a campfire and then talk about stories of collecting. I think that's awesome. That is when you go to a convention, that's the best thing. It's like, hey, you have your story with James Buster Douglas, and I have mine with my retro store in Dyker Heights, Brooklyn, going out of business, and me being really good friends with the guy and getting a lot of stuff for almost near cheap. Transformers games are cool.
Yeah, especially the 7th generation ones. War for Cybertron, Fall for Cybertron, Devastation. Those are, in my book, those are the only 3 Transformer games you really need. Yep,
Transformer games are awesome.
a Transformer set.
Yes.
I'm not sure.
I know someone. There's a friend of
So
mine.
much fun.
There's a friend of mine that collects all the Spider-Man games. He has every single Spider-Man game.
Yeah.
I think that is the coolest thing I've ever seen. And he has one of them signed by, I think it was like by Tobey Maguire for Spider-Man or something. And he has one of them because he saw him in Manhattan. And I was like, wow, that's like really, but it's Spider-Man. It's cool.
Mhm.
It's and then another guy, I know he collected obsessed with 90s action stars and heroes, and like Judge Dredd for every system, Cliffhanger, Demolition Man, Last Action Hero, like all those big type of games. Some of the Spider-Man games are expensive, but you're talking about him collecting like 2013, 2012, 2010.
Yeah, the thing is, if you were collecting beforehand and picking up that stuff, then you got it for next to nothing. I mean, like Spider-Man Web of Shadows on the 360 is the best Spider-Man game that I've played.
Hmm.
I don't have a PlayStation, so I don't have the new Spider-Man or Spider-Man 2 games. I've played them some, but I haven't played them enough to be like, oh yeah, this is great. I'd love to get a PlayStation, and nope. I'll pick them up whenever I get a PC that's strong enough to play them, maybe. But I mean, I picked up Woe Shadows and it was $60, complete in box, and I was happy to get it. I've played through it at least once since I picked it up, even though I've got a digital copy. The best Spider-Man game I played was Revenge of Shinobi. You have to have one of the early editions for that, though.
I mean, we went to a garage sale out in Pennsylvania with my parents and my friend, and it was years ago, and they were at the I don't know if it was Pentecostals. I forgot who it was, but it was only Bible games, only Bible games. My friend picked up Noah's Ark. I tell the story all the time. I picked up Joshua, the two Joshuas, one for Game Boy Advance and the other one for one for Game Boy and the other one was for Genesis, both Joshuas. And I picked up they had little Samson on the table, and I knew what it was at the time because I was like collecting, and it was like early 2000s. And yeah, Noah's Ark, yeah, it's wild. The game, like we played it at his house, and we got like really drunk. we were playing it like, oh, we got to collect the sheep, and it was like, it's like Wolfenstein, and we're walking around, and he's like, we got to collect the sheep, and I'm in the background going, because I'm like, yeah, just kill them all, and whatever. Little Samson's there. I made a $400 donation to the church, and they were extremely happy with everything. But it was only because I couldn't walk away from the church, knowing that Little Samson at that time was about 550 or 600, and I've had it ever since, sitting in a safe. My another wild story was my kid. I think it was years ago, to like when PlayStation 3, was no PlayStation 4 first came out and was predominant. Toho came out with Godzilla on the PS4. I have 3 copies of that. My kid I bought 2 copies from Toys R Us, left the stickers on them sealed, and I bought one to play because I like Godzilla. And I said, it's kind of weird. I've never seen a Godzilla game come out like this before. And Toho pulled the licensing, and you couldn't find them anymore. You have any crazy stories?
Nope, not really. Because most of the stuff I got, I picked up before things got crazy, and since I don't pay attention to, like, if it's not something I collect, like the most expensive and most rare games for pretty much any of the PlayStation systems or the NES, I'm like, I could come across it and be like, nope. If it was $5, I'd be like, nope, I don't collect for that. So
I just had a horrible NES experience, and Drake has that expensive claymation or Clay Fighters game on N64.
N64.
Yeah, $5. $5.
Yeah, because
Transformers spiked. Wow.
for a time, no one cared about those games, and just because they've been chatted up and whatever, people think it's valuable, even though they're not going to play it. What happened to Transformers Devastation?
That's weird. That's just like that stupid game for PlayStation, Alien something, and it was because the developer snuck in code where you could run the disc and then open up the top of PlayStation, take the disc out, put a burnt disc in, and play, and it worked. And that game spiked like crazy. Everybody wanted it. I remember, I think, telling you about that.
Yeah. Well, no, I also saw it online, but that's the thing is, if a game, it's like, oh, hey, you can use this game to hack a console so you can do other things with it. All of a sudden, a game that nobody cared about, well, lots of people are going to care about.
I didn't know PS4 spiked.
Yeah, the
I don't.
PS4 Transformers Devastation, according to price charting, complete in box is $67, 65 loose. There's almost no price difference. Although with the PS4, the Xbox One, the difference between loose and complete in box is generally just the case.
That is insane that there's a $700 um PlayStation game called 1001 Spikes, and it's like $700.
And there's an Xbox One version. The Xbox One version is basically $30, which I didn't know there was a Xbox One version. I wonder if you can buy that digitally.
That is insane.
Watch list. Yeah, the Transformers games from the 7th gen are a lot of fun. Oh, wow, almost 100 at the time. Well, it's dropped a little bit, I guess.
That's something that I always watch out for. 8-bit fanatics.
Game for hacking Cube Ninja or something.
That is this.
What?
That's
Drake has 1001 Spikes on the 3DS. Oh, I guess Devastation was delisted. Not surprising, seeing as how we're in. What generation are we in? The 9th gen? The Who Cares gen?
all right. I don't know what's going on with PlayStation, but these games are out of control.
Okay.
PS3, Illudian, Heroes, 100. What the hell?
Simmer down there.
I'm lost. I'm just like I'm.
Are you flabbergasted?
I don't understand why Eluding Heroes is for PS4.
Is it a rare game?
No, it's not, and I have it for 4. I don't understand why it's so much. I'm just this is why I don't like to look at price charting, because then I get even more confused. It's $1,000 Kickstarter.
That's ridiculous. Oh,
That's
then there's probably not a large print run. LP, I have it on the 360. I don't have an Xbox One version. 3DS GameCube Ninja for hacking 3DS. Not a good game, but it rose in price for the hacking. Yep, that's all it takes. So note to any developers that may stumble across this, if you want your game to be something that rises in price afterwards, make it so you can hack the console with it. Oh, I should. I think it's just sitting right here. I pulled up the 360 games to do a video. We'd go through and just like, here's 10 good 360 games. Here's 10 more 360 games. And yet another 10 360 games that are fun. And won't break the bank. But whatever shall we do? But yeah, I think the whole Jan, oh my goodness, John Hancock thing is his huge antique collection will be going away over the next, we'll say 6 months, 9 months, a year, because he's got to get stuff boxed and packed and get it completely categorized and get it, then it'll get gone, and he'll have a garage and have probably another room or two in his house. And Devastation is a lot of fun. It's like you're playing the cartoon. The cell shading pays off really well for that game. Now that Saiyan has lost his mind,
I just can't, Drake. This is absolutely ridiculous. Bloodstained Curse of the Moon Classic Edition limited run for PS4 is $450. Is this because they decide this has to be because PlayStation said we're not making any more games for PS4, and now PS4 games, people are hyperinflating the games?
There's a limited press run. Limited run games, they're not, as far as I know, they're generally not printing millions of copies. I don't even know if they're printing 100,000 copies.
What?
Yeah, exactly, Drake. Hope it's well looked after. Embracer Group or no. If Embracer Group gets it together and actually gets some of that stuff started scanning in and getting it into an online archive where you can go and look and be like, okay, this is what a complete set looks like. This is what this individual game looks like. Here's the cart. Here's the manual. Here's the inserts that may have been included. Yeah. It's because it's limited run, artificial scarcity. Yeah, anything that limited run makes, I mean, you should look at picking it up digitally. Like the Masters of the Universe game, I would really like to get it physically, but because it's being printed by limited run, I'm kind of just like, meh, probably not. So I'll pick it up digitally. Especially since I might pick up Master of the Universe at full price.
I don't. It's just crazy to me.
Yeah, LP limited run games has had some issues with getting games out in a timely manner and holding on to people's money for pre-orders for, over a year. And then I believe it was the 3DO that they used CDRs to get
Yes.
games out.
This is just a lot of these games are just over. I mean, there is
They're
no
overpriced, but
reason
they're
why.
probably limited. Yeah,
Yes.
they do print to order, but it's only for a certain amount of time and then they stop. So it is, and they're generally released in such a low number compared to back in the day, or AAA releasing their own thing.
They're all limited. Most of them that I'm on Knights of Azure, I have that. Most of them are like Lego Dimensions starter pack with Batman shouldn't be like $300.
Is that complete in box or
Yes.
new?
Yeah.
Part of the problem with that is if there is a unique Lego figure in that set, or if there are pieces of Lego that are they're not printed, or sorry, not printed. There's no other versions of those out there. Like there's some tile that was only available in that set. It can make the price of it go up, and then you've got people who are trying to get complete in box sets or whatever.
That's another thing that I have too. Complete
Yeah,
complete set of Persona games. Not Shin Megami Tensei. All you remember I was doing that, right? All the Persona stuff. I got
yeah.
all of those. We're all sitting down there collecting dust.
Time to put them in a box so that it'll be the box that collects the dust now.
Well, I mean, I got to see how I'm
Yeah,
going to set everything up. But hey, listen, good thing too is you got a lot of really, really good games on PlayStation 4 for $9 to $15. Most of them are about $10 to $20.
that's why
And
7th gen, 8th gen, like they are extremely affordable because there was so many of them made. You may not be able to get the rare titles cheap, but they're rare, so that shouldn't be surprising.
honestly, there's a lot of I'm looking now, like there's a lot of great games. Um so yeah, the one game I would like to watch out for is Song of the Deep. Not many people talk about that game. um all right, Lego. So Shin Megami Tensei it started on I forgot what was the Super Nintendo or something. Drake could keep me straight with this, but once that was done, we saw yeah, Insomniac is good. And so basically you had Persona. Persona started on Super Nintendo, they called it Shin Megami Tensei, and then they moved over to Persona series. So it split. You have Persona. Well, yeah, Drake, but
You've got Persona non grata.
SMT is like you have SMT Devil Summoner series, and then you just have Persona. They kind of broke away from it on like around Persona 3. And they were like, we're not naming it SMT Persona anymore. We're just gonna name it Persona.
That's a shame, I tell you.
You just don't the zeros. You
I
have
have no
zero to
idea.
give.
Yeah,
Zero to give. I think.
I have no grass clippings to care.
Well, I think. Honestly, where is it? It's pretty cheap. It was a GameStop exclusive, Song of the Deep Collector's Edition with the book. So, I mean, you should get it for pretty cheap. I got it with the pop figure Lego. It's like $34, but I think when GameStop goes out of business, I think that game is gonna shoot up in price as a limited edition GameStop exclusive. I have a feeling on that one.
Any of them that are exclusive or there are limited quantities made, there's a chance for them to jump in price, especially if it is a game playable off the disc.
Yes.
What was that game that you were talking about? Because I just remembered something.
Song of the Deep.
So, no, there is no result for it. What a shame.
For Xbox?
Well, for this website called Does It Play? That's not good.
What's does it play?
For this, you can go and look at a game. So here's Resident Evil Requiem for the Series X. Does it have offline play? Yes. Is a download required? No. Install the disk is 34.56 gigabytes. Put the entire game on the disk, but with a big caveat. Many of the textures on objects look very low quality, as if they were from a 6th generation game. However, the character models and their textures are very nice. Encounter some enemies and objects slipping through walls and floors. Overall, if you are okay with some low quality texture, the game played and runs very well. Encountered no crashes, and the loading was very quick on the solid state drive. So this site, you can look up a game and find out how much of it has offline play, if a download is required or not. Surprisingly, there's a high number that do not require a download.
Really?
Sonic Frontiers, offline play, yes. Download required, no, but with an asterisk. Download required, minor content missing or a lot of bugs present with a patch recommended. So, Sonic Frontiers, physical. You can play it off the disc, but you're going to may run into some bugs and stuff.
They said Requiem you don't have to download?
There's no download required, so you can play it. Like if your console was offline, you could still play it. It's playable off the disc.
That is disgusting, Drake.
So yeah, I found out about this from RNG Gamer, and it's an interesting site. The stats, I think, are a little bit misleading.
Look up Elden Ring after this. I'm kind of curious.
So I looked up Darksiders. It doesn't have all of the Darksiders on there. There's no Darksiders Genesis at all for any system on here. So you look up Elden Ring.
Was there a download? I think there was download Elden Ring.
So
Elden Ring does play offline.
They all have offline play. No download required for any of them except for the PS4 version has a asterisk.
Makes sense.
PAL region. Can we click on that? Minor content missing or a lot of bugs present with a patch recommended.
That makes sense.
Some chests in build 1.0 are empty. For example, in Castle More, in the chest in the structure on the right side near the pile of corpses, it is empty, while in the patch version it contains the claymore. So there's small
changes.
Well, small issues with it off of the disc.
That makes sense.
But it's kind of neat. You can, if you're looking for a game, you can look to see of how much of it is actually on the disc, if it's on there. I mean, I wish. Here's the game list. If you can filter. Series X. How do you get it to search? There's the reset.
The Wii U was really cool too. I liked the Wii U.
Oh yeah, I think the Wii U definitely
Is an underrated system.
it is underrated, and it is it was a little bit ahead of its time, and
But-
Nintendo did not do a good job marketing it.
But did Nintendo for the Wii U take the money? I'm sorry, take the games and then release them on the Switch and then just charge you the same amount of money?
Oh,
Okay.
you mean like what they're doing for the Switch 2?
Yeah.
It's par for the course for Nintendo. Or oh hey, there's a Switch 2 version, but you have to pay $10 to get the upgrade. Wii U is underrated.
I mean, Wii U is definitely underrated. It's true.
Yep. I thought I clicked Xbox Series X.
Let's see.
Okay. What? Oh.
It's very interesting to see. Like, I'm looking up the Wii U right now. It's cool. It's very cool.
Why do I not have? It's only got 3 games listed for the Series X, and they all have download required. Which I don't have anything selected, so I was trying to get everything. Yes, with an asterisk.
That's interesting to see all of this. I didn't know the Wii U had so many games.
There's not a ton. That's actually a fairly small library as well.
There's only a certain amount of Wii games that I know, and that's
Goodness gracious.
It sounds like you're getting tired.
Yep.
It's 11. But I mean, yeah, it's interesting to collect and stuff, and go from there, share stories.
It
I think
is.
the best thing is, the best probably is the stories. I think the stories are great.
Well, it's the stories of people you meet, the memories that are made with people, and the community is pretty good. Not everyone is great. There's people that are going to be issues, but that's why there's gatekeeping. Oh. And why
Oh,
everyone
rhythm games. No way. No rhythm games, please. I saw my friend play he collects everything and all things Rock Band, and I saw him play Rock Band on the 3DS. Never again. Well, I no. Wild. Just wild game. To stand there on the 3.
with the little
Yeah, just
Yep. Well, LP, depending on what state you're in, just start searching around on Google for retro gaming conventions or conventions in general. Because oftentimes you go to one gaming convention and other conventions are advertised there. And actually, like later this month is Toylanta. It's a big toy show up in Atlanta. Surprise, surprise. But Southern Fried Gaming Expo, they advertise there. And there's a couple others. some of the vendors that will be at other cons will have cards for those conventions so that they can try to get people around. PRG is the closest, you believe? That would be a fun one to get to. I actually want to get out there to the West Coast one of these days and go.
What is it?
Portland Retro Gaming Expo.
Oh, Portland, Oregon.
Yeah, I want to go for a day, but
Oh, I see. Yeah, well,
maybe one day. But I just need to get invited as a guest, which I am going to the Augusta Retro Gaming Expo the week before Toylanta, and I'm a guest. I get to go to a convention as a guest for my first time.
what is this?
The Augusta Gaming Expo.
Augusta, Georgia?
Yep.
Where did you
What?
Oh, Augusta's that mental hospital is over there.
No, you're thinking of Milledgeville.
Oh, the abandoned one. You know which one I'm talking about, right?
You're thinking of Milledgeville.
Okay, yeah. Didn't your wife have to pass that or something? You told me.
Well, she went to school in Milledgeville.
That's wild. So okay, so you're going to this Augusta. This is interesting.
Video Game Exposition.
What is it called?
The Augusta Video Game Exposition.
Now, what are you going to do as a guest?
I'm supposed to be on a panel, but I got to double check what I'm going to do. I might be on the panel with Paul Niemeyer, the guy that did a lot of the artwork for Mortal Kombat.
Ah.
So should be pretty fun.
Oh man, you're gonna meet Rushmore Show.
I've already met him a couple times.
Oh damn, you are on here. Oh wow, that is so fucking cool. Oh, geez.
Do you have the link posted up in the chat? I was trying to find the.
That is insane. Oh my god, I'm like, yeah, no one wants to hear my boldness chat about video games, but that is. Oh, how did you pull this off?
I contacted him.
Damn. You know what? That's it. I'm doing LI Retro, and I'm going to be like, yo, I am a shmup expert, and I want to be a shmup.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. No, I'm sorry. I'm not Guru Game Boy, but I mean, that's wild though. Wow. That's
it's pretty cool.
That is amazing. That is.
I'm not sure if that'll get through on. Looks like it went through. So there's the web page for the guest. If you scroll all the way down to the bottom, that's where I'm at. I need to come up with a better logo.
I think that logo suits you fine. It's been there forever. When is this?
Huh?
When is this?
2 weeks from Saturday. Probably start sharing that out some. If there's always Southeast Game Exchange, I'm trying to get on as a guest there as well, which I think their Southeast Game Exchange has something to do with this convention as well. So maybe I can grab the guy there, and if nothing else, at least get entry.
3-hour flight, Augusta Regional Transport, and then we need to drive all the way over here to Westwood. See, I'm telling you, you have the best stuff. You're close to everything. I'm not.
That's not true. Because I'm not close to the West Coast.
It just stinks. Like, most of your stuff is more like most of your stuff is more accessible. What do I
Yeah, if
have?
it wasn't in driving distance, we probably wouldn't be going. It's a 1-day expo, so it's cool. We drive down there, hang out, and then come back. I'm in the center of the universe.
Yeah, I'm on the East Coast. What do I have? Please, retro. I mean, RetroCon was good.
Well, you need to, you're in the Northeast. I'm in the Southeast. I'm sure there's got to be more conventions and stuff around you. You've just got to find them.
I'll look. I'll see.
Isn't there a East Coast version of PAX
No.
East?
I don't know. I don't know. I'd love to live not here.
I'm guessing the West Coast. I grew up on the West Coast.
I'm in New York. You want to come here? Shoot yourself.
Yeah,
Drake and I are more closer
PAX
together.
East. Shoot, you're in the same town as the 80s bros.
I am.
Although I don't know if that really.
What does
really
that do
counts.
for me?
It's New York, so it's a pain.
They don't do. They're 20 minutes away from me. What does that do for me? I mean, like, they're not. Niagara Falls. Like, to go to Buffalo will take me 4.5 hours to drive.
Me too, LP. I don't want to live in New York. New York City.
Rhode Island's a dump. I would never go to Providence. You'd get shot. So Connecticut is about the best. And I'll probably go to the Connecticut convention this year, Retro World.
That convention. I mean,
I live in New York City. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I need to see if I can get onto Really Rad Weekend as a guest. That would be cool. And even if they pay for gas and let us in with the guests, I think that would be cool. Even better if they pay for a hotel room.
Where's Really Rad Weekend?
Destin, Florida. It's in November.
Oh my God, this looks absolutely amazing. This just looks.
I thought of moving, but it's not possible for me outside of maybe going to continue college. Well, work on getting towards that goal, perhaps. Manhattan became an open air prison, much like today.
Yep.
Oh, that's what that smell is. Woo!
Oh, they're having a Long Island tabletop event today. Long Island Tabletop Gaming Expo. Join us this weekend. Oh no, Saturday, April 7th. I wonder if they have divorced dads there. That'd be pretty cool if they do.
What?
Oh, you've never heard of the card game called Divorced Dad, Seed of Separation? The Bane of Alimony? I think
you've shown me something about it.
No, I don't have them.
No. You were talking about it and I looked it up once.
Guys, you ever want to get a laugh, look up Divorced Dads card game. You have free gym membership. That's always good to have in your deck and then the Incredible Bulk. That's usually printed on a heavier stock. And it's always good to have the free gym membership in the Incredible Bulk in your hand. Yes, dude, I'm telling you, it is the funniest crap you'll ever. It is hysterical. Like, it is such an amazing card. Like, I want to get into it because it's funny, and I think it'd be awesome to collect the cards. Like, there was one thing on there. Divorced Dad says, hey, what is it? Hairpiece, and then the power of V. And he's like, yeah, the power of V, and it's a little blue pill on the card. And it's like, yeah, hairpiece and little blue V go great together with partying it up and partying on the weekend. Just the card. This guy is like out of his mind with talk about collecting, that is definitely something I would go for. Divorce
Look at
stats.
Virtue Signal card game.
It's just great.
There's some interesting stuff out there.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
this I might. What we might go to is actually a CradleCon, May 16th and 17th.
For the Cradle of Humanity.
CradleCon is CradleCon is going to be pretty cool. The Cradle of Aviation near me is like the best place. Long Island Retro Gaming Expo Saturday and Sunday. Nassau Reptile Expo. I will not be going back to that. I might go to then there's planetarium shows that are there. It's not bad. I won't be going to LI Retro. You're funny, Drake. You're funny. Lego, yeah, look it up, man. I'm telling you, it is the funniest. The cards are you could be in the worst mood and you could watch, like, just look at the guy talking about divorce stats. The cards are funny. Like, it's really, really funny, like, cards.
Excuse me. All right. I think it's time to call it before I fall asleep.
Really, before you fall asleep.
Yeah. I'm old.
No. So here's one card, 2 Christmases. Because you have 2 Christmases when you're divorced. Inheritance. Failed investment. Happy anniversary. Yo, these cards are crazy. Oh, and then this is it. Alimony, the world ender. Father's Day, the house. If this gets taken away from you, your game is officially over. Come on, man. These cards are
lose. Yeah. All right. Click what you want, how you want. Keep it Sega. All that fun jazz. Oh, maybe Shane and I will be on tomorrow night playing some games. So,
I can see what I could play.
Sayan's gotten totally distracted.
I think Divorce Dads is they're great cards. They're hysterical.
Obviously.
It doesn't take much.
Nope. Shiny. Look. Look. Shiny. Shiny.
But yes. He might be on his channel, or we might do something on the other channel.
We might do it here on Sega Dudes. That's probably where we will do it. Just get on and play some stuff and chat and hang out. And anyone is welcome to join in to play or chat. Just, we keep it clean. No swearing. Goodness gracious, I'm sorry, guys. Oh, my word. Oh. What's going to happen as soon as I get ready and get in bed. I'm going to be like...
No, it's 11:17.
Yeah.
I don't know if I have any anime to watch still, but...
They haven't released a new season of Solo Leveling or Kaiju.
No, I don't think they're going to do that.
There's nothing to watch at the moment. That's not true, but...
I mean, there's stuff, but...
There's plenty to watch, but there's times it's like, I just don't feel like sitting down and watching that. I wish Fist of the North Star was all dubbed.
Oh, it's not?
No. And on Crunchyroll, it's none of it's dubbed. It's all subtitled. I don't know. I haven't cracked open my my complete Fist of the North Star. But this is something that is cool. Standard definition Blu-ray. Because you get, see how many hours is this? I don't know if it says. All 152 episodes on 3 Blu-ray discs. I want that for Dragon Ball Z. Imagine getting all of the Dragon Ball Z cartoon show on like 4 or 5 discs.
That would be
4 or 5
crazy.
discs. That would be awesome.
That would be a lot, though. That definitely would be a lot.
Should be like 40 or 50 bucks. But yeah. All right. We'll see you all around. If we don't, everyone have a good week.
Yep.
Keep it Sega. We didn't do our Sega moment. That's something I'm saying I'm going to start doing is every podcast is going to have a Sega moment where we're talking about a Sega console or a Sega game or a Sega controller or a Sega thing. Grab Dragons by the... I don't think so. Shenron won't like that.
Turbo, yes.
Yep. Turbo the Snail. Got to go fast but slow. You got to go slowly fast or fastly slow or something. But keep it real, everybody. Collect what you want, how you want, when you want, where you want, and play what you want, how you want, and all that fun stuff. Just don't get in trouble and don't go into debt. See ya.
We are out.
And we are out. We need